all about.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, welcome to another episode of 94 Feet Podcast. It's your boy Big Zeke in the building. I'm also here with my brother Dre.
Yo, 94 Feet Nation, what's good? What's good?
I'm also here with my brother Kesey.
What's good, good people?
What's going on, man? How y'all week been going?
It's been going pretty good, man. You know, I'm alive.
Week's
I'm
been
blessed.
good. Week's been good. Old man Winter is here already.
As
I
we
wouldn't
can
say
tell.
that, but I wouldn't say
You
old
wouldn't
man Winter.
say it.
I wouldn't say
What?
old man Winter is here, but he's coming.
Man, he here. It's
Yeah,
cold
he
outside.
knocking at the door.
He's knocking on the door. I mean, Green Bay had like a couple inches this morning. They showed that on ESPN.
Man, I
So-
didn't have my heat on already. What you saying?
I'm terrified. I'm absolutely terrified. When I seen that, I was like, oh man, they coming. It's coming.
I picked up my mom after church, and she said, "Why you got the heat on?" I said, "It's cold outside."
Real cold outside.
She said, "You getting sick?" I said, "I rebuke you. No, I'm not getting sick. It's cold outside." So winter is here, whether we want it to be or not.
Yeah. I unfortunately went to a funeral this week, so that was
Our condolences.
thank you. But it was just it's just a nice time to reflect every time that happens. But anyways, on to NBA news. Want to start off with the injury report?
The injury report. Let me pull it up, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm not ready. But again, the NBA is plagued by injuries this season, like a lot of injuries, and they're big name players, some smaller name players that are also injured. Starting with the Chicago Bulls, Nikolai Vucevic is out with COVID-19. He is out for 10 to 14 days. Over in the Cleveland Cavaliers land, Colin Sexton has a torn meniscus. He is out. Laurie Markkanen, COVID-19. You might have to check the name on that. I'm sure I butchered it. He is out 10 to 14 days. Denver Nuggets, Kesey's boy, Michael Porter Jr. is out with no timetable with a back injury. Kelly Olynyk from Detroit, grade 2 MCL sprain. He is out for.
Ooh, Linux. You said that with a long Linux. Linux. Okay.
Milwaukee Bucks, Greek Freak, sprained ankle, amongst many other players. Chris Middleton, DiVincenzo. A lot of Bucks players are still out hurt. The Knicks, Nerlens Noel, he is out with a knee injury. Jeez. Philly, Joel Embiid is out with COVID-19, 10 to 14 days. The NBA is injured. Very impactful for all those injuries, I'm sure. So speedy recovery to all the injured players.
All right, thank you very much, Trey. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I'm introduced to the new segment. It's called Shoot Around. And Shoot Around is really much just, rumors and news going around the NBA. Little small stuff we can kind of just kind of dip our toe into just for a little bit. I mean, if it becomes a bigger story, we'll come back to it. But this is just little stuff. So we'll start with John Wall in Houston. He will remain with the team, but will be out for the rest. Will sit out for the rest of the season. I think we all at this table can agree that John Wall has been a non-factor even before he came to Houston, and Houston is supposed to be his new starting point, but it ended up being same old. He get injured, he sit down, he barely plays and stuff like that. But he's also still collecting on a big, huge contract. So from what I hear, the deal is with John Wall, they want to trade him, but nobody wants him. And I'm not surprised by that either.
Right.
Are we all?
No, I don't think anybody at this table was like, oh man, what's going on with John Wall? Like, you forget about him if you don't mention him sitting out, there's no reason to talk about
Yeah,
him.
but I heard quite a few people say that. Oh, I forgot about John Wall. So did you bring him up? Oh, John Wall?
Exactly. Moving on, you got the Milwaukee Bucks looking to signing Isaiah Thomas because of the lackluster productivity from George Hill. Do you think we need this guy? Or do you need more time? As Dre has been famously saying for the last couple of weeks, we're just 10 games in.
Well, we're almost 15 games in, so the speech is a little different this week. But go ahead, Keith.
My only thing is, what can you get out of Isaiah Thomas?
Scoring.
Who said he can score still?
He can still
When
score.
has the last time you seen Isaiah Thomas score?
In the NBA realm or just overall? Because this past summer or the summer before, he was playing he was practicing with the US team just to kind of practice within like 5-on-5 and stuff like that. And he was doing pretty good. Like he still has it. I think
Is that what you know or what you think?
That's what I know.
You saw it? Have you witnessed it? Because clearly he ain't on nobody's team for a reason.
He's not on nobody's team. He was close to being signed with the Lakers and the Warriors. They had a tryout with him, and then nothing happened with it.
No. The Lakers ended up going with DeAndre Jordan for their last roster spot.
Okay,
That's
he
what
tried out for both those teams though.
Yeah.
And I think Isaiah Thomas still has it. I think we all can agree to that. But
But if he still has it, the Lakers have how many players over 35?
A lot. Most of the team.
So don't you think he should have took one of them spots?
I don't know, man. Because
they got a lot of guards.
They got Wayne Ellington, so he's not better than Wayne.
I mean, I'm not saying that the Lakers would have picked him over Westbrook, but I'm
Malik
pretty
Monk,
sure the Lakers have.
Them are all guards that came in over him.
But what about the Bucks though?
The Bucks.
The Bucks. Do you think the Bucks?
I would not get rid of George Hill for him.
Why not?
For what? That's even a worse gamble.
Have you seen the productivity from George Hill?
George Hill is manageable. He's workable.
He might also have some championship blues. You know, playing on a team that traded him just 1 year before they won the title.
I mean, my thing is like, I think we all can agree at this table that the Bucks are struggling right now.
It's only the first 15 games. That's what people got to realize.
Yeah,
we got a long season.
But we're already in.
We keep saying that, but it's hard to come if you're always on the cusp of being below 500 or above 500, below 500, but above 500. The Bucks is not going to bust out 20 games in a row. This is just not going to happen.
Once they got Christian and Giannis back, they can. It's possible to go on some 10-game, 7-game winning streaks. You know what I mean?
I think the Bucks, and I think I'll say this: the Bucks need their full roster to be one of those title contending teams, because like last year, even with the playoff run that they had, I was worried when I don't know, can never think of his name. The white boy, when the white boy got hurt,
DiVincenzo,
that guy.
Okay.
When
he watched the basketball, how long do you keep pronounce his name?
What that got to do anything? He don't know my name. So
we talking about him. What you mean?
So
those guys over there at that 54 Feet podcast, they're always bringing us up.
Exactly. So I wouldn't be. I'm like
54 feet.
I'm like, it's actually 94 feet.
For us to, for him to know us, it's like you supposed to know him. We the home team. Well, you never wear Bucks
I know
gear.
Giannis.
You never wear Bucks gear, so it doesn't matter.
So those are
wear Bucks gear all the time.
Shout out to the Packers.
So those are clearly the part-time fans.
Yeah,
they only know part of the roster
or go to games.
How many games have you been to, Dre?
I have a whole season ticket.
How many games have you been to?
I went to the Knicks game.
One. Right. Anyways,
ask me how many I've been to.
How many have you been to?
About 6, 7.
It ain't been that many.
It has been 6.
It ain't been that many.
Brooklyn,
1,
New York,
2,
Spurs.
Yeah.
You went to the Spurs? Oh, I gave you the ticket to take my Preston to the Spurs.
Detroit.
Yeah.
You went to Detroit? Dog. Have I missed all these games?
Dude, you missed plenty of games.
So what happened to the second ticket?
Okay.
So y'all getting off topic, but at the point is, y'all always talking about some Zeke fan.
Has it been that many games? Seriously?
You missed at least 5 though.
Wow.
Jesus. See?
Because I've been sitting next to Michael like.
Nah.
Well, see, y'all went to the preseason games though. You're counting preseason. Nobody care about
the only preseason was the
We're talking about seasonal games. He's been to all of them. You've been to one.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
What does that mean?
We get 21 games.
How many games have you been to? Go ahead.
We get 21 games in our package, and I have 17 left, and I've been to 1, so I've only missed 3.
And that means I've been to 5.
Okay.
That's what's up. How many have you been to, Z?
I've been to like 3. I've been to like 3.
Actually, he's right.
I've been to like 3 games.
I've seen him at like 3.
What are you talking about?
We met up at like 3 games.
What are you talking about?
Anyways,
they trying to bust me out.
He tried to play you, then he set himself up.
Go Bucks.
Bucks do not let him in the arena next week.
Bucks
But-
and 6. I got my hat on.
Anyways, but I think we need some offense, especially with these guys missing and being hurt. Like Lopez has been played one game, so I think we need some offense, and that's to be honest with you, I would consider Isaiah.
I think we
Thomas.
need more rim protection right now than more than anything else.
You think so?
Right now,
I think
because we can't keep nobody out the paint. So if we got some rim protection down there that at least can test some of them shots, we stand a better chance because we got players who can score. But if you ain't getting defensive stops, man, it's hard to stop the bleed, man.
That's true.
I think we're missing PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker was huge for us defensively.
PJ who?
Once you leave Milwaukee.
Oh, wow.
That's what we think of people who leave us.
They didn't give him an offer.
They didn't
What was he
offer him.
supposed to do?
I
They,
know from
But I
him.
gotta give him a hard time.
they
man.
went
I
with
like
Bobby Portis.
I like PJ.
So
I like PJ too.
Grayson Allen has been playing great ball for us. I'm
Really
actually
good ball.
surprised. that
I'm
he's-
surprised too.
He's been playing really good ball for us. But you look at our roster, we also have a roster of players that make you say, who? We really do.
We do.
We really do.
But
Especially
those guys have been coming through a little bit.
especially with hurt players like Holiday Holiday has been mediocre at best this season when he's played because he's been hurt. He has
Yeah.
not been a great factor for the team right
Who?
now. Holiday.
Yeah, he hasn't been consistent yet. I mean, the whole team is off right now. They're not in a rhythm because nobody has been playing all together at once.
So with that being said,
And then you
is
got
Isaiah-
players that just came
I
in,
mean-
like Simi. What is his name? Simi Ojile.
JG from Boston.
Ojile.
From
Somebody-
Boston. Yeah.
Simi Ojile.
yeah,
I don't even think he hit a bucket yet.
I don't think he's been hit.
I've been looking and I don't think I've seen him hit a bucket.
He shot. He shot the ball.
The
but
Bucks signed Rodney Hood with hopes that he would bring some offense.
That too.
We haven't really seen him really step up to the offense.
Yo, he'll be cut soon.
Pat Connaughton.
He's
Is
been
out.
coming through.
He's out. I thought.
No,
No, I'm sorry, I'm missing with DiVincenzo. But you think about the Bucks rotation right now is really 7 people. It's Giannis, it's Allen, it's Holiday when he plays, it's Middleton when he plays, it's Portis.
Portis is just coming back.
He's
off the
just
injury.
coming back. It's George Hill and it's Thanis. So really, the Bucks have been playing with 7 to 8 players, and that's a stretch. That's a lot. Remember, the Bucks just were playing in July,
Yeah,
right? And so to come into this season, let's not act like their struggles aren't to be, true, because right now they're in 11th place.
yeah.
And as Zeke said, sort of like the Lakers, you're losing games you should easily win.
Yeah.
But you got to remember though, out of our core guys, over half of them haven't even been playing a majority of the games. So you think Chris hasn't been playing? He played the first couple games, but he hasn't even really been playing since. Bobby missed the first 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
Brooke Lopez has missed the first 8 games.
He hasn't played since he played 1 game.
Drew Holiday has only played in maybe 2 or 3 games.
So I mean, so all this stuff that you're saying is true, but isn't that more reason to look into this Isaiah Thomas thing?
No, because who do you replace him with? Who on this roster are you going to place him with? Because there's
one of those guys that Dre just said. You'd be like, who?
Yeah, you can. I mean, I almost
because I would rather pick him with a who than a guy who used to. I just feel like at least look at it further, give him a tryout.
No,
I would take him over Rodney Hood.
Because
I
you're
would
right.
take Isaiah
I'm
Thomas
going
over
to tell you
Rodney
one
Hood.
thing that I've always learned growing up. You can't teach height.
You can't.
And when you're 5, what is he? 5'8",
5'10"? No.
at the most, 5'8", 5'9" at the most.
Yeah, 5'10" at the most.
That's a mismatch.
So what
But he's
went
proven,
wrong
though.
for him? Why is he not getting
I don't know.
the respect and love in the NBA, man?
I think
what
that
went
something.
wrong?
I think something like, I don't want to say a cancer in the locker room. I just feel like he's not he has been proven over the years to be arrogant, to be not a team player.
I mean, he
to
carried
play
Boston
one
through
side
some
of the
dark years.
yeah,
bro.
but to play one side of the ball.
A dark year.
A dark year.
A year and a half. But so it's just one of the things. I was just asking. I'm just wondering. So, but moving on, the next one is the Philadelphia 76ers were in talk to trade Ben Simmons to the Boston Celtics for Jalen Brown,
Here he is again.
Marcus Smart, and some draft picks.
Before you finish your intro, do you realize that this is our 4th or 5th episode? I don't remember, but Ben Simmons has been a part of all of them.
Not all of them.
He's been a part of it, and I'm saying that to say we are giving him way too much attention. But go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So
Clearly, he doesn't like Ben Simmons.
Exactly.
Ben Simmons don't send him no autograph jersey, but
No.
I'll take one.
No.
Ben Simmons, the Boston Celtics for Jalen Brown, Marcus Smart, Robin Williams, and some draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
The Celtics turned it down, not willing to depart with Brown. Good or bad move?
Who did they offer up with Ben?
They wanted Ben Simmons. So Philadelphia's prepared to give them Ben Simmons and Danny Green. And Philadelphia wanted Jalen Brown, Marcus Smart, and Robert Williams, one of the big men, the young guy, and some draft picks.
Boston should have did that.
They should have took it.
They should have took that.
They should have took it.
took it.
Are you serious?
Boston, we just talked about it last week about their on the floor chemistry and how Marcus Smart is pretty much setting the stage for a departure. You had your way out. You had a complimentary.
The reason the trade broke down is because they didn't want to depart with Jalen Brown.
So that means they're more invested in him. Obviously, Tatum's untouchable. Tatum's untouchable. So that means Boston, like the rest of these teams, wanted to give up something for nothing. Because let me tell you something. Philly has turned down some great attractive trades for Ben Simmons. I mean, what does Philly want? I mean, they want Jordan. They want that other guy, number 33. They want
So Philly didn't turn it down. What are you talking about?
No, Philly. What I'm saying is, Philly, you missed what I said there. Philly has engaged with trade talks with almost every team in the NBA, and nobody ever offers them enough for Ben Simmons. Listen, Philly, for a guy that can't shoot, which is why this all started, the passing of the layup in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay. You want a whole lot for a guy that's not giving you much back. He doesn't. You have to also hold up. You have to also remember he doesn't show up to practice. When he does, he's kicked out of practice. He won't see the team physician to address his mental health. Right? He is just being like just a head case right now, and teams are thinking not only can you not shoot, I got to deal with your off the court antics too, and I got to deal with your guy Rich Paul, who's really calling the shots. Teams don't want to deal with that. In a minute, he's just gonna keep losing his money because his fines are ridiculous.
Well, he after you fine him, he get his mind right. But I mean, to me, it wasn't a bad trade. Ben Simmons said he's willing to play in Boston, and I think that's the only caveat to this. Once Ben Simmons says, "Okay, I'll play there," then it shouldn't be an issue, but it seems to still be an issue because, like you said, Dre, like Ben Simmons can't shoot. But I said this in one of our first episodes or our second episodes. It could have been one of the off-season episode, and I stand by this. If you get Ben Simmons to work on his jumper and then work on his free throw shooting and his shooting in general, he can be up there with LeBron. As far as his size, as far as his defensive, malice, he is close as you're going to get to LeBron James.
Close as you're going to get to LeBron James.
I said it. That's what I said.
Oh my! You couldn't have said it no better.
You can look at me. Okay, let's break this down. Real
I almost called you something. It wasn't a child of God. But anyways.
No, hold on a second, real quick.
Hold on a second.
Real quick.
Hold on a second. When you did that, you just went too damn.
Is Ben Simmons not 6'8", 240?
We're not talking about that, but you put him in a category.
I'm saying he could be up there.
You put him in a category.
Hey, bro, wake up.
You must be asleep.
Listen.
You don't really believe that, do you?
I honestly believe that.
First off, Boston is stupid because I would have took that deal.
I would have took the deal too.
Really?
It makes sense. When you look at it, the deal makes perfect sense.
Yes.
You bring in another 3D shooter like Marcus Smart, because that's all he is a 3D.
Yeah, 3D.
Danny Green is D3.
Yeah. Old.
And then you bring in a 6'8" point forward, which you need somebody to get y'all offense going because Tatum is just there to score.
That's true.
Jalen Brown doesn't make or break y'all team. You get rid of him for what? What you hold on to him for? And he stay injured. If you look at it, he injured every 3 or 4 games.
Talking about Jalen Brown?
Yeah,
absolutely. That he has had a career of a lot of injuries and not really playing full seasons, even back to the Charlotte days.
How do you not make that deal though?
I think, like I said before, they didn't want to part with Jalen Brown.
Jalen Brown is not worth the headache.
Jalen Brown is.
It is. Wait, time out. I'm sorry. It is when you think about Ben Simmons.
But you got to think of it like this.
Jalen
y'all ain't where y'all want to be right now.
They not.
So why keep putting y'all team through what it's going through right now when you know you need to make a change?
Well, that's brag.
Because you know with Tatum and Brown, it's not working. Mm-hmm. Everybody done seen it. Everybody done saw it. Marcus Smart then called it out on national TV just for y'all.
Yeah.
So it's time to part ways.
I think they feel like Ben Simmons. I think they are more. I feel like this. If Ben Simmons was playing, this trade would be more attractive. But because he's not playing, like Dre said, he has these off the court issues as far as like his mental health. It's one of those things where I can see why, because if Tatum is off, I got Jalen Brown. If Tatum is off and you take away Jalen Brown, who am I gonna depend on? The guy I traded for, Ben Simmons?
Right.
But at the same time,
because I see what you're saying. And y'all just last week y'all shredded the Boston Celtics roster.
Not Charlotte.
Who's this guy?
Misspoke.
Who's this guy? Who's this guy? So besides those 3 guys,
sure
and Dennis Schroeder, he came through with 38, beat the Bucks. Hey, it happened.
No, I don't even listen. I'm not even going to go there with him today.
But he got his $6 million.
Go there with you today.
So he,
$5 million.
So he came through, and you know what I'm saying. With him coming off the bench, it's one of those things where I can see why they didn't, but also see your point. And I think if Ben Simmons was playing, it would be a different.
You know, Jalen Brown adds value to any team he goes to. And I think if you put Jalen Brown, I misspoke. I said he was with Charlotte. Didn't mean that. If you put Jalen Brown with the likes of a Joel Embiid, a Tobias Harris, okay, that to me is a good look. Because right now, who's running point for Philly right now with Ben Simmons being out? Who's kind of,
I forgot his name.
Who's kind of the floor general for the 76ers right now?
His last name is Mackey. He was torching the Bucks too.
Well, most people torch the Bucks, so let's not.
You know, the Bucks always let somebody have a career night.
A scrub, don't they, bro?
Nobody that ain't nobody never heard of always have a career night on that.
You talking about Tyrese Maxey?
It might be
Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah,
okay.
That guy has been playing some really good ball. And he was balling on the Bucks.
And plus, you know, they also got Seth Curry. So, you know, it's not like Philly's doing terrible without Ben Simmons.
That's true.
Brown would have came and added some extra spark for them because Philly's also injured often, right? Yeah. Often. And so I think that Boston missed their chance to bring some balance to their team. But in Boston's defense, I would have taken the trade just to, you know, get rid of Brown, but that was still too much to give up for Ben Simmons. That was a lot. You were giving up 2 core pieces of their starting lineup.
Yeah.
Marcus, who can play 6-man at times, he does. You're giving up 2 core pieces and some draft picks for Ben Simmons, who may or may not sign for the long term. So I guess I see both sides, but Boston had a chance to fix it, and they didn't. They should have.
So you
hold on before y'all even go any further. Tyrese Maxey been balling, and
he's been balling
for about a year straight for y'all to be talking about a nobody.
I didn't say he was a nobody.
He's not really a nobody. He's not.
No, I didn't.
He really did because I had to think about it.
I did not.
I just say he was balling.
Tyrese Maxey
he
had a.
Heard you say
and he had a.
Nobody.
I didn't say he wasn't a nobody. I said who is their point guard over there? Does anyone know? And I said, no, you said a different name.
You said Tyrese Maxey had something on the Bucks or something.
I said he was balling against the Bucks.
And I said everyone has a career. I said everyone balls against the Bucks, and he said everyone has a career night. I didn't call him a nobody.
I said a lot of nobodies have career nights against the Bucks.
That's what he said.
And he was like Tyrese Maxey. Yep. And I'm like, hold on.
I didn't call him.
I had to think about it.
Yeah, Tyrese Maxey has been like balling.
He's been balling.
He's had a
man.
Great
he had a
start.
great playoffs last year.
He had a great start to his season. Absolutely. But the bottom line is
Brown doesn't fit. Only reason I look at this trade is kind of because you want value for value. And Ben Simmons and Jalen Brown next to each other isn't a bad value for value.
Let me ask you this. I wonder if it didn't work because Doc Rivers.
No, I'm telling you, they specifically said because they specifically a couple of things came out of this. Once, so the Celtics literally hung up the phone when Daryl Morey, whatever his name is, when the GM for Philadelphia said, "I want Jalen Brown, Marcus Smart, and Robert Williams." He said some future draft picks. He on the phone. He was like, "Nah, we don't nothing to talk about. We don't nothing to talk about because you won't, like you said, you want."
I think they went too far with the draft picks.
I mean, you went too far with 3 players for one.
I think they went too far when they added Marcus Smart. If he'd have said Jalen Brown,
too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he gave them Danny Green.
Streaky. We all agree. Danny Green is streaky. That is not a come up for Boston.
But he is length. He's length. He is a small forward.
Yeah, but you guys also think Rondo going back would help him too. So I can see why you would think Danny Green would. So
you say what?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
What'd you say about Danny Green?
Nothing.
That's what we're talking about. Dre just be this.
Here we go. Anyway,
but he
Danny.
I stand by my comments.
He has a reputation of not being consistent.
He don't.
I said that.
He don't.
Danny Green.
I just agree with you. I said you're right. He doesn't have the reputation of being consistent with his 3 and D. He plays D when he wants to, and he shoots threes.
He's just
and
getting older. I think Danny Green is just getting older.
Did any of you get number 33's book?
No, of course.
No. Okay. Did you get it yet?
Yeah, I ordered. I'm waiting on it to come.
Okay.
As soon as I read it, I'm calling you first.
Call me first, because number 33 is just out of control.
So
if you bring it up
forward,
one more time.
Number 33.
No, 23 is out of control.
Number 33.
23.
Did y'all want to step outside?
Put some respect on him.
You better put some respect on 33.
I will. Larry Bird was a great player.
So, I'm not gonna look. We're not gonna get into this whole Scottie Pippen thing.
We almost need a part 2. We almost need a part 2.
You know what? Though?
We almost need a part 2.
No, hold on a second. I kind of feel like he should be doing this just because.
No, because I'm really a Scottie Pippen fan, and I'm feeling.
You just sit here and say
I'm feeling slightly disrespected, man.
So you just sit here and say him being better than Jordan is ridiculous, and when he said it is ridiculous, you know it's ridiculous. Our producer laying on the couch knows it's ridiculous. Everybody in this room knows it's ridiculous. So if you just sit here and talk about I'm feeling slighted, you should be like, Scottie, relax. You're one of the 50th greatest players. Yeah. Relax.
Number 33 is taking it way too far.
Now,
why?
If anything,
he's being disrespectful.
If anything, Dre,
MJ.
If Dre's the guy.
Also, now are you?
No.
Hold on a second. Are you not? You a protector now?
Continue. I'm not going to.
Dre is the person who's
going to take the bait.
No, take the bait. Take the bait.
No,
take the bait.
No.
So Dre is the person over here
jangling from his nuts.
I don't know.
Because he's jangling from Jordan nuts.
Well, according to Zeke, you're jangling from the shaft of LeBron. So not quite sure why you're so happy about that. But number 33, and I'm inserting this into this word on the street. He went on shoot around. Thank you. He went on Good Morning America, and he continued to bash Michael Jordan.
He did.
Okay. He is continuing to escalate it. Okay, Michael hasn't responded, and Michael won't. He doesn't need to. He's the greatest player of all time. But for you to go on Good Morning America and just bash Michael and say that he said he made the game of basketball worse. That's what Scottie said. He made it worse. Everybody knows Michael evolved the game of basketball, whether you like it or not. So here's my thing with Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen, who I was a big fan of, I'm not feeling the way he's coming at MJ. I'm not. Why? Which is why I refer to him as number 33. The bottom line is, LeBron has.
You love him? Don't take it.
Evolve. Man, I ain't taking that bait. Evolve. I ain't taking that bait. You know what I'm saying? The way that LeBron has evolved the game of basketball.
Would you like to hang from his shaft?
He's taking it real far, ain't he? I mean, he the one that said you was hanging from the shaft.
But you the one who brought it up again.
Because it's word on the street.
So what?
It's called shoot around.
It's shoot around. Scottie Pippen went on Good Morning America. You got one more time to make a reference about a shaft and nuts, okay? He gonna have to beat me because y'all gonna see another side of me.
Whoa.
All right.
Now you going too far.
I'm just saying. Beep. That's what I'm saying. No, I don't use that language. But Scottie Pippen is continuing to escalate, and it's borderline disrespectful. It's one thing if we have beef with each other.
Do you think he's trying to sell a book?
I don't know if he honestly. It sounds like Scottie might have some loose screws up there. That's just what I'm saying.
Well, since you brought this in to shoot around,
it should have been in there in the first place.
It shouldn't have been in there.
It was on Good Morning America.
Yeah, after nothing we say this week is going to change from last week.
He was just on Good Morning America Tuesday.
I know he was.
Go ahead, Keith.
I mean,
is Scottie not taking this too far?
No.
Okay.
Let me ask you this.
Why can't? Hold on. Everybody else got the platform to say what they want to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why can't he say what he want to say? If it ain't true, then Jordan ain't got nothing to worry about, right?
Jordan kicking it on the bench.
All right. He's a billionaire with his feet up, stinking or whatever that is. So hey.
But what about loyalty though? Like what loyalty?
They haven't really had a relationship at all.
They haven't.
Didn't Jordan induct him into the Hall of Fame?
He did.
He did not induct him.
He did induct him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
He was the person who inducted him.
Yes, he did.
Inducted him.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
they
did.
only did that because they was a part of the Bulls dynasty.
They asked Scottie who you want to induct you. He said Jordan.
No.
And he called Michael the greatest player of all time. Now, because this book is out, now all of a sudden Michael hurt you from 30 years ago.
This is just to sell books. This is just to sell books.
I ain't buying that book.
You know, you can't make
if it goes to the Goodwill, maybe I'll get
like
it.
I said before.
Like I said before, you can't mess up the Hall of Fame speech.
Is Jordan an a-hole? Is Jordan an a-hole? Yes,
absolutely.
he's an a-hole.
There's certain protocol. They probably told him, look, Scottie, if you don't come in and do this right, you ain't going in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, so in your words, he's a house Negro.
To get in the Hall of Fame, he probably was.
Oh, okay.
Scottie, and I would have been a house nigga too to get in there. Don't you think? Don't you want to be in the Hall of Fame?
I do want to be in the Hall of Fame one day.
Get this nigga,
wake up.
This nigga a nook and I'm like,
but no, I just feel like Scottie is just, I don't say taking it too far.
Our
I think he's trying to
producer go hear this and be like, what?
I think he's just trying to sell books. And I'm not mad at it. I don't think Jordan really care that he talking crazy about him. I think the fans are taking it more personal. I think sports Scottie has given us something to talk about.
He has.
But other than that, I don't think it's that serious. It's like they finna square up next time they see each other.
Do they need to sit down like Magic and Isaiah had?
No.
That eventually KG and Ray Allen will have. You don't think Pippen and Jordan needs to squash what may be there?
No. I think that like Kobe and Shaq, when they sat down, it was a lot of unspoken, like we haven't had this conversation. Yeah. Jordan knows Scottie ain't my BFF. Jordan don't care Scottie's not my BFF. He like, whatever. And that's like, if I'm making all this money, I'm running the team, and I'm worried about getting into the playoffs, I'm not finna go into like why this being petty, why this dude talking about me. Like I don't care.
Right.
So you know, we're gonna wrap up this shoot around.
No, go ahead, Keith.
And it's just Keith, you have something to say about this?
Keep going there.
So we're gonna wrap up this shoot around and move forward. I want to talk about like
real quick. I got one more part to say. No, I'm just kidding. So
this for the last what? This is episode what?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. For the last 4 or 5 weeks, we've been talking about mostly Lakers, not so much not so much Brooklyn, but mostly Lakers stuff. And I think mostly Lakers because they're a team who not only has the best player in the NBA right now, but they are built to further get into like the playoffs and stuff like that. So we got we have teams with better records than them right now, which is the Chicago Bulls, Washington Wizards, and the Golden State Warriors.
I'm sorry, man. Y'all gotta understand what it's like sitting next to Kesey doing a TV show.
And they started the season off real good. They started the season off better than the Nets, the Lakers, and the Bucks. So I just want to talk about these teams. So I just want to talk about these teams and let's talk about these teams. And what do y'all think that where they're gonna go? Where they're gonna end up? Kesey.
What is your problem, man? What's your problem?
Something's wrong. What's wrong? What's the issue?
Right.
Nothing,
What's
man.
the issue?
Nothing, man.
It was.
What do you mean? Really?
Yes.
Really?
Go ahead, Keisha.
Really?
Clearly, he didn't got a hold of a plant or something over here because he got the giggles like crazy right now.
Who, me? Oh, yeah.
Wham, wham over here.
This adult? Yeah, I know.
He got the giggles over here.
But let's talk about it, man.
You sure that's water in there?
Man.
The Bulls and the Heat are off to great starts. I predicted in the beginning of the season that the Miami Heat would be a great team to watch. I can see them in the long stretch. But the issue that I always have with the Heat were they were too small.
Well, the Heat is not one of the teams I mentioned, but
they're right here on your rundown.
They are. I'm going to replace them with the Washington Wizards.
This is the Heat. So, but all of these teams are off to great starts. But to your point, I don't want to say this because I don't want you to give me a dirty look, but longevity. The NBA is a game of longevity.
We're talking about longevity. We're talking about the Bulls, Washington Wizards, and the Golden State Warriors. One of these teams is already picked to win the championship.
Hold on, I think it's too early.
Well, you said one of them are already picked to win. Oh, Golden State.
They already picked Golden State to be the champs already. But I like JJ Redick said, it is very irresponsible of you people to think that.
Why?
Because they haven't beat any big time teams yet.
God, yes, they have.
Who besides the Lakers, who are a dysfunctional team full of stars?
They beat the Bulls.
The Bulls is a team that just got put together.
See, that's not fair because
the Bulls have not beat anybody either.
Because
you say beat some teams.
Who they beat?
The Bucks.
You say the Lakers. Casey always says, "Well, we shouldn't worry because it's early," but the Lakers are losing to scrubs.
But they still over 500, and they ain't
barely.
And they ain't in 12th place. And they ain't in 12th place no more.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Bucks. I mean, I love the Bucks and all, but
do you?
We in 12th place right now.
So the Warriors have defeated. We're gonna skip preseason. The Warriors have defeated the Lakers. They beat the Thunder. They lost to the Grizzlies. They beat the Hornets. They beat the Pelicans. They beat the Rockets. They beat the Hornets. They beat the Timberwolves. And here's the thing, though. You can't undermine these wins because they've been blowouts. The Lakers can barely beat any of these teams we just named. Barely. Okay? The Warriors have blown these teams
But majority
out.
of the Lakers' losses were when LeBron was out.
It doesn't matter. They're still losses.
And the thing about the Warriors is, are they not missing one of their main guys?
But look who the Lakers have played and look who they have played. Who has had a tougher schedule right now to this point?
Well, that's neither here nor there.
It is here and there, here or there.
Because it's the Lakers.
No, it's not because it's the Lakers. It's because of I just said the same thing about the Bulls, didn't I?
Shafty.
Yeah. I mean, saying who have they lost to and who have they won to is one thing. Because the Lakers have lost to some teams they should have beat. They have also won some teams barely. So it's like they barely beat who was it recently? They barely. I think it was Minnesota. Like they barely
beat. I mean, come on.
No, they lost to Minnesota.
The Lakers.
But I'm saying before
it was the Heat. Remember they beat them by 3.
Yeah, they beat them by 3. Okay, so it's one of those things where, when we talk about, like, we give so much leeway for teams like the Lakers and the Nets and the Bucks and stuff like that. Why not celebrate these teams who are actually getting the job done? No matter who the opponent, no matter who the opponent is, they're still getting the job done. As far as the Golden State Warriors, like Dre just said, they blowing teams out, doing what they're supposed to do, and they doing this without 2 of their most valuable players. You got Klay Thompson and you have Wiseman.
Oh man, if you blow up one more name of it,
Loans, I don't.
James Wiseman. James
whatever.
Wiseman. Man,
like you missing those 2 guys, you still blowing teams out, and it's mostly behind Steph Curry.
But if you look at their roster, majority of the players on their roster have been there for a couple years now. They're not big time players, but they have a chemistry. That's what that chemistry can take you a long ways.
That chemistry does take you a long way, but most of these guys, you talking about they've been there for a year at most.
And you talking about one of the best shooters in NBA history.
Yeah, you talking about one of these guys though,
who
like
just passed Ray Allen, by the way.
Gary Payton Jr. just came from the G League,
and he balling.
Poole from Milwaukee is his 2nd year in the league.
Okay, so when we get to game 25 to 30, I want to see and hear about Poole, Gary Payton.
It won't matter because Clay will be back.
Clay will not be back by then.
Clay, they're actually talking about bringing him back before Christmas. And Christmas is about a month away. We're about 5 weeks away.
We shall see. All I want to know
like
is
we talking about like you, like Dre last week. We only 10 games in. We only 15 games in.
I haven't used that at all today.
And I've been saying this since we've been doing this podcast. Talk to me when we get to game 20 to 25.
Well,
I've been saying it. I've been saying that since we've been doing the podcast with every season that we've done this.
So you're not convinced?
I'm not convinced yet.
As far as what the you talking about the Golden State Warriors?
The Golden State Warriors, the Chicago Bulls, the Washington Wizards. I need to see, like you said, longevity.
So let me say this. I will semi-agree with you. I am not as impressed or concerned with a Washington Wizards 9-3 start. I'm not.
Okay. So you are not impressed by that, but you're impressed by
Golden State because they're the same exact team from last year. The same exact team. There's no difference. The only difference is Steph Curry is probably my front runner for MVP right now. There is no difference in their roster at all. None. And they're 11-1 to start.
How did they start the season last year?
It wasn't great, but they were fighting for the AFC all season. They were right. I'm sorry. Thank you. They were fighting for the play. They were fighting for the play-in tournament all season. All season they were fighting for that final spot.
Their season. Okay. Last year it was more up and down. It was more up and down. Steph Curry got hurt, and that kind of hurt them. But it was up and down. But the fact that they've come out.
But I've seen
this is still a newly. I don't say a newly required team. This is an injured team.
Golden State.
But I've seen this Golden State team win games without Steph. So it's not about just Steph.
That's even a greater accomplishment.
It's about that how do you say it? Camaraderie.
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 Get it
I
together.
can't get it out now.
Get it together.
Because he didn't mess me up. He didn't say so many butchered words.
That's what it was. Yeah,
Camaraderie.
Specifically.
Yeah, if you want to blame me, that's fine.
Specifically
the Bucks.
Specifically the Bucks.
How about y'all specifically?
You took the bait. Go ahead.
I did.
But the camaraderie, I can't even get it right now. Camaraderie of the team has always been there.
Okay.
Yes, I would give you that.
And that's something everybody can't do. Every team can't get that coming in.
Yeah. I mean, that's I agree with you. So, okay, here's my question.
Even if Steph was to be sitting down right now, I still believe that team would be over 500 right now.
Not 11-1.
The Warriors.
No.
I'm not saying well over 500, but they would be over 500.
But I don't
just off of the chemistry that they have.
You can't take away Steph Curry 50 points.
No, you can't take that away. Of course you can't.
Okay,
that's why they're 11-1.
So you just said without Steph.
But my thing is, when those other players start to fall off, how is that team going to look?
What do you
mean? Are they still going to be?
So you believe they're going to start falling off as Clay comes back, or you just mean all together?
Like
I even mentioned Wiggins, and he is, doing his.
And we're not fans of this guy, but Draymond is balling. Draymond is making a case for Defensive Player of the Year.
I don't know about all of that.
Well, I don't care what you know.
He's been playing pretty good, but I don't know about Defensive Player of the Year.
He won't win it. Gobert will win it, or Embiid, but he's playing like the old Draymond because remember, the Warriors have sat back and watched LeBron get it done in the bubble. They sat back and watched the Bucks get it done with an injured superstar league, right?
Yeah.
This is what people are saying. And the Warriors were disrespected this past 2 years. I mean, folks were like writing the Warriors off. And I've always said, if you have Steph Curry, you always have a chance. And so I tend to agree with Stephen A. Smith. I like the Bucks to run it back. But right now, let's be honest, the Bucks aren't looking like a team that's ready to run it back.
I just know, my thing is this,
early to make that decision.
Like the Golden State Warriors.
Very irresponsible, like JJ Redick said.
Bruh, the first episode of the podcast, you picked the Bucks to run it back. So did I. So why is it irresponsible now?
To say that the Warriors
look like a championship team is not irresponsible.
It is irresponsible.
You said the Bucks were going to run it back. Is that irresponsible?
Until they're beat, they can.
Come on, please. Come on, bro.
They won it though. That's the difference. They won it last year.
But you saying that
and they got the same roster. They just been hurt the first few games.
Exactly. So we're saying the same thing about the Golden State Warriors. They're starting off 11-1, and you can't see that they could be possibly running it back until when they was back in 08. When they was back in 08. They was back in 2018.
I don't believe it.
So what is it going to take for you to believe that the Warriors can get this done? Now, I'm not
get to the playoffs and win a series.
Wow.
I'm not picking the Warriors to win it, but let's not act like it's not possible.
I mean, because you're right. Longevity. NBA is all about longevity.
It is.
You got to think.
If you are struggling at the beginning of the season, so what you're saying, if you're struggling at the beginning of the season, you're asking for this team to either A, just fall off the map, or B, for it to keep going, or some type of without some insinuous circumstances like Steph Curry getting hurt for a longevity time. I don't see the unresponsible part of calling the Warriors.
I call it irresponsible because they haven't beat no really good team.
What's a good team?
They beat the Western Conference champions.
They haven't beat.
They beat the Phoenix Suns. They beat the Lakers
without DeAndre Ayton.
Okay, go ahead.
Because they still lost.
We're not going to win
because all these games you're talking about.
We're not going to win
without Klay Thompson.
Okay, because
all these games you're talking about.
Because all you've been saying,
Klay hasn't played in 3 years, man.
All you've been saying.
So we're not even going to count Klay in the equation yet.
Why
because
not?
we're talking about MVP candidate Steph.
Because all you've been saying when the Lakers lose, that was without LeBron. It doesn't matter. So just because they're winning,
because Steph is their best player, right? And LeBron is their best player, right?
Yeah.
Without your best player, you don't put on the best
performances. No, not when you have Anthony Davis. You're supposed to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. You're supposed to beat the Timberwolves.
And also,
you're supposed to beat the Rockets. Come on, bro. Don't go that far. Don't go Skip Bayless.
Oh, talking about. They lost against the Rockets?
I just started naming weak teams.
He just started naming all these.
But they lost
to
weak
teams.
They
actually blew the Rockets out.
The Lakers lost to the Trailblazers. Should have beat them. Okay. They only beat the Hornets by 3 in an overtime game. Should have beat them. They lost to the Thunder. Should have beat them. They only beat the Rockets by 2. Should have destroyed them. They beat the Spurs by 6. Should have destroyed them. Okay. So all these games that their biggest margin of win was against the Cavaliers by 11. Everything else, they actually lost to the Thunder by 7, right? They beat the Spurs in OT by 4. They lost to the Suns. They beat the Grizzlies by 3. They lost to the Warriors. They lost to the Kings. Okay? They lost to the Kings. These are your Los Angeles Lakers with 3 megastars. LeBron.
They're not megastars, man.
Future Hall of Famers.
They're future Hall of Famers, but they're not megastars. They're not on LeBron caliber. Nobody on that roster is on the caliber of LeBron or Steph Curry.
This is an all-star game. What do you mean?
Regardless of what you want to say, there's a difference between the LeBron levels and Steph Curry levels and the Anthony Davis levels and the Westbrook levels.
So you're telling me that Anthony...
There's very few that are on that level with LeBron, and it's like Steph Curry, Kevin Durant.
So you're telling me
I can only think of them 3.
Keys. So you're telling me that Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony are not enough to beat these teams that I just named without LeBron?
Carmelo is 37.
But he's having arguably the best other than Steph, the best offensive player in the NBA right now.
And I'm going to tell you like this. Let me tell you one thing that Carmelo can't do right now.
What? Start?
He can't guard nobody. Carmelo closed out on somebody the other day, and I thought both his kneecaps was gonna break. I love Carmelo.
You crazy, man.
But I'm dead serious, man. He closed out on somebody. You know how you do the close out and you shuffle your feet?
Yeah.
When he turned around, the dude was already landed up.
So
it was like almost like a video game.
So Carmelo Anthony has never been a defensive stopper.
So this proves my point even more. The Warriors have built their team through the draft.
Through the draft
and
free agency.
And they're 11-1 without their second best player. and the Lakers can't do it with their second and third best player, you can't.
Okay,
use that argument.
let's just wrap this up.
Break
real
us
quick.
on.
Wrap it up.
Kesey, Golden State Warriors championship or no?
Win or contender?
I won't say contender. I'll say contender. I won't say win.
Okay, contender. Are they a championship contender, Keith?
Are they a championship contender?
Yeah.
No.
Playoffs.
Playoffs, yes.
50 wins.
Yes. They'll
All
get
right,
50.
Drake, same question.
Absolutely a championship contender.
Playoffs.
Easy.
50 wins.
I picked them to have the best record. So, yes, 50 wins.
You picked them to have the best record.
I did.
You did that.
I did. I picked them to have the best record.
That's only because they like Steph Curry.
The Warriors, I don't, and let me tell America this. I'm not even a Golden State fan. I can appreciate them more now that KD is gone. Okay, I can appreciate them now that KD is gone. But you have to give credit where credit is due. The Warriors are playing lights out basketball right now. They're not just beating people, they're dominating people.
And they haven't done this since late 18.
Okay, and I can't wait to watch them.
73 win season.
I think the Bucks' biggest test right now, I'm not really too concerned about the Bucks. I'm a little concerned, but I'm not overly concerned. To me, the Bucks' biggest test is playing the Golden State Warriors, not the Lakers this Wednesday. We already beat the Sox off Brooklyn with half our team. I will judge the Bucks' ability to compete for a title when I see them play Golden State.
I won't until they're fully full strength.
Well, hopefully that's a later game. That's not until February. So hopefully we will be. So
okay, I see what you're
when
saying.
February is come, then I'll determine if they championship contenders or not.
Half the season over by the end.
That's what you need.
Okay, let me ask you.
Because I'm gonna tell you like this.
So
hold on a second.
But how many? If we can go back and listen to some of the podcasts, I've said this at the beginning of the season that we've been doing this.
Okay.
This is too early to make a decision.
So when you call
any team, even when the Lakers were winning in the beginning of the season a couple years ago,
when the Lakers was winning, you was on cloud nine.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, you
cloud nine,
bro.
King James got another one coming.
It's okay to own it. It's okay to own it.
But it's a different thing when LeBron James is doing it. Come on, man. Y'all know what it is. Just like when Steph Curry doing it, you can't tell him nothing.
That's not true because Steph can be stopped. We've seen it. Steph can be stopped.
By who?
Kyrie can stop him, but Kyrie's only going to play in the All-Star game.
Kyrie cannot stop him, man.
Kyrie
can just go bucket for bucket with him.
He can go bucket.
He can also he makes it challenging for Steph when he plays.
No,
nobody
makes it challenging.
Listen to me.
Steph,
I'm not saying he can stop Steph, but Kyrie makes a competitive contest matched up with Steph Curry.
I'm gonna tell you.
So does Dame Lillard.
I'm gonna tell you this right
now.
So
does Dame Lillard.
Yeah, because they both can score bucket for bucket with him. None of them is guarding.
None of them are better than Steph. I'm not saying that. Steph.
Nobody said that. We're saying
it's LeBron, KD, and Steph. Those are the top three in the NBA. But really, and it's going to make you upset, is really KD, Steph. Because right now, LeBron, you can't judge him on anything because he hasn't done anything. And LeBron is on a decline, whether we want to admit it or not. Just like you tell me with MJ, there are things, we are very protective of our favorite players' legacies. LeBron James is on the decline, and we have to accept that he's declining as a player. He is.
Oh, hell no.
Do you disagree with that, Zeke? Is he not declining as a player?
If this season goes by,
I don't want to say
he doesn't play a lot.
Let him answer the question, Keith.
I don't want to say declining.
Injuries aren't catching up to him?
I want to say he is looking more and more like he's not going to finish the season how he thought he would.
Oh, that's not a decline at all.
Because here's the thing: when LeBron James is fully healthy, he's fully capable.
He's a killer.
That's what I'm saying. It's not decline. It's if you're keeping getting injured. Like
that's exactly what decline is.
Decline is you went from averaging 25 to 15.
Okay, so injuries won't have him decline in his gameplay.
Injuries will have him if he's going out there playing injured. Then yes. Like Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant never declined. He just kept getting hurt. Allen Iverson declined in his play before he retired.
Okay, I'll give y'all that.
So I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah. But LeBron James is fully healthy. He's still capable of getting like 25,
all
30
day.
a night.
He's the best. When he's fully healthy, he is the best player in basketball. There is not a player better than LeBron, in my opinion, and there hasn't been in years. Even when Kobe was playing.
Going back to what I said before, I think the ARCA playoff championship contending team. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to have above 50 wins.
Easy.
Who?
Golden State Warriors.
Easy.
Lakers playoffs or not?
Lakers playoffs. Yes. 50 wins. No.
Playoffs, potentially. It all really depends on how Anthony Davis can carry this team because LeBron has not played. He's out again. And if LeBron can't give 48 minutes a night, the Lakers are in trouble, bro.
You always got to remember.
What? They got
There's
Westbrook?
there's a different regular season LeBron
Absolutely.
from a playoff LeBron.
I 110%
we said that
agree with
last year.
We said that last week.
We said that last year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And they got exited.
Yeah,
He was hurt.
He played.
Remember, you got to remember
He
last
was
year,
I'm talking about
they
LeBron.
went from, that's what I'm talking about. You got to
LeBron
remember,
played.
but he
Hurt.
was hurt. Remember,
was
the
really
Lakers
hurt.
went from one to play in tournament because
Yeah.
Bron and AD both were hurt.
Go
So I'm
ahead.
going to give the credit where credit's due. The Lakers' success is on the back of LeBron James. There's no doubt about it. But the Lakers last season, that was fluky. They went from one to play in tournament where they barely beat Golden State to get that spot. But this season, the Western Conference right now is full of some players.
Yeah, some teams.
Okay, they got just like the East right now. Like we haven't talked much about the Bucks because we're fans, which is great, but we can't overlook.
Well, I didn't talk. We
Go
haven't
ahead.
talked about the Bucks
Go ahead.
because I think that it's obvious that they're not at full strength.
Well, just like
So-
the Lakers.
It's different with the Lakers.
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you why it's different with the Lakers. The
Go ahead.
Lakers literally have, I don't want to say when you have Rondo and Carmelo Anthony on your bench, when you have a bunch of young and up and coming guys like Malik Monk, Ellington, when you have these guys on your bench that should be starting on other teams,
But you know how old
I think that,
Ellington is?
huh?
Do you know how old Ellington is?
What, he's 36?
Yeah, like 36, 37.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how old is Malik Monk?
He's the youngest one on the team, probably.
How old is Tucker?
He's out. He hurt.
I know he
He
hurt,
ain't
but I'm
played
saying
none yet.
I know, but what I'm saying is you have these guys on your bench and they're hurt. I get that. But the Bucks is different because we don't have these type of guys on our bench.
And Ariza hasn't played yet. Don't forget that.
Exactly. So like but they still have these guys on their roster
wait,
though.
Wait. Did you say that as a threat to other teams that he hasn't played?
I'm just saying in general, like there's
And
a lot of the thing is,
the
like we
Bucks-
said from the beginning, injuries is going to determine these teams' season.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
you can have two players injured and your rotation go down, and they can cause y'all to lose games because you got players who don't normally play big minutes
That's true.
playing big minutes.
That's true.
So it goes back to Golden State and how their roster looks. And if you look at
They're
their
young.
roster,
They're young, but they're not hurt. The only person who was hurt is Weissman and Thompson.
and those guys are 20 minutes apiece. And at
Weissman,
least
you forgot Weissman lost his spot for a while. Have y'all forgotten that?
I did forget. Honestly, I did forget that.
Yeah, I know you
didn't
did.
forget that. But what I'm saying is he's still a threat.
He's not a threat to me. I'm looking more at Kevin Looney. If Kevin Looney get hurt, then I'm be like, oh, okay, because he was there when they won championships. He was there when they needed him.
Yeah.
What has Weissman done? Nothing.
He's done? He was
And
balling at first.
if you Steph, you
Before
saying
he
the
got
same
hurt.
thing right now. I don't care about Weissman right now. Weissman got to come in and show me because Looney already showed he can be there when it's championship time and play big minutes.
Yeah. I think that the Warriors right now, they are riding a wave. They've had a bad 2 seasons. And the closer we get to a Clay return, I think will tell a more compelling story. Because Kesey also does have a point. Yes, 11-1, although great, who did you beat? You know, he says that. But I think once Clay comes back and complements that offense, then we're going to really start talking about, ooh, it just got real out here for the Western Conference and the NBA.
But also, you got to remember when Clay comes back, Gary Payton Jr. minutes goes down.
Yep, Poole
minutes goes down.
goes to the bench.
He might not even come off the bench.
He goes to the bench.
There's a lot of players who ain't gonna get no tick, and that's what you got to calculate. Is Clay going to help the team, or will he hinder the team?
He'll start
'Cause
off.
Clay is gonna need his minutes, right?
Clay is going to start off on the bench. Clay's going to start off on the bench.
Nah.
And they're going to
Clay is not a bench player.
He'll
Well,
have to.
They'll gradually bring
He'll
him
have
in.
to.
They'll gradually bring him in because you can't just throw him in there and expect him to run 20 minutes of
Right,
full court
right.
You
basketball.
start him.
Well, he's doing full court practices.
Listen,
right?
Full court practice.
He's
is
doing
different
not
than
practice. He's doing contact.
I know,
Listen,
but I'm
he's
saying
on
it's
contact.
different than going in the actual game, and you know it.
You start them, but you don't play them a lot. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I can see that.
And that's what you do. But
Okay.
but when you do that, because players like Clay have to be in the starting lineup because it's the name, it's the money, all of that to go along with it.
Yeah.
He has to be in that lineup. But are the players who's been there while they were winning acceptive to that?
They have to.
Some of them will be, but you got some who come on, man.
Klay
You've been
Thompson-
watching this game. You've been watching this game a long time. You got some players who be like, "What? I'm gonna lose my spot, and he ain't even been playing."
Klay Thompson's a 3-time champion. That's all need to be
And
said.
you know that.
Yeah.
But this younger generation,
Yeah, I get it.
some of them don't understand
I
that.
get it.
I understand it totally.
I get it.
Clay's supposed to be in the starting lineup.
I get it. Who else? What else you got on Contender Pretenders? Were you gonna call team names and ask us that question?
I was going to ask you that question.
Go ahead, do it. Do it, man. We got time.
Boy, I tell you, don't cut me off like that again.
I didn't cut you off. You were done talking. I just moved us on. Because ain't no winning with you when it comes to the Lakers and LeBron.
I just complimented your team, man.
That's not my team. My team's the Milwaukee Bucks.
But
That
you only
says
won
the man who's only been to
game,
one game so
I knew
far.
it was gonna- You set yourself up for that. I knew I was coming. So he got.
Woo! Just for that, y'all both are uninvited from my suite.
Hey man, it's not funny. So she got the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls have been like 8. I think they're like 8-4.
Bulls are playing some good basketball.
They playing some good basketball.
I'm actually surprised. Not gonna lie. 'Cause
I-
they're small too.
They're a small lineup, but they probably made the most moves besides Miami. They picked up Lonzo Ball. They picked up DeMarcus DeRozan. They picked up Alex Caruso.
Yeah, and he balling too.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna be one of those guys in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. And they got Nikolai Vucevic. So they got themselves a nice little team too. Do I think they're a championship contender? Probably not. But I think Chicago all itself will be together with playoff bound.
Oh yeah.
I say
I can Final Four.
I say not 50 wins.
I
Not
just tried to end my thing.
not 50 wins, but close to it.
I give the Bulls Final Four
Really?
in the Eastern Conference. I give the Bulls Final Four.
Eastern Conference champion.
I don't know about the championship,
That's
but
Final Four.
they'll make no. Eastern Conference Final Four is semifinals. So you got
No, it's not.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
You know what Final Four means?
I'm talking about the Final Four in the Eastern Conference.
Oh,
in the
okay.
Eastern Conference, I'll give you Bulls, Sixers, Bucks, and Brooklyn.
Oh, you think they're part of that group?
I do. I think the Bulls are built to go through the Eastern Conference. I mean, because their Bulls have been beating teams decisively as well,
They have.
and they've beaten good teams.
Their only big loss was to Golden State.
They were destroyed by Golden State.
And Golden State, and that's because Steph Curry had 40.
They beat the Mavericks. They beat the Nets.
The Mavericks aren't a good team like that, really. All they got is Luka.
See, you all have to pick and choose when you do it, man. You can't do
How
that.
am I picking and choosing? Because all they got is Luka.
They beat the Jazz.
Porzingis out again.
They beat the Raptors. They beat the Pistons. They beat the Pelicans. Okay. So the Bulls are playing some ball.
They beat the same teams the Warriors beat.
But I'll tell
And
you
then
this.
the Warriors kicked their ass.
But well, not only that, the Warriors kicked their butt, but so did the 76ers. They lost both games to the Sixers, back to back, actually. They lost to the Knicks by 1, and they lost to the Warriors. So they're losing to competitive teams. But again, I like the Bulls. I don't have them as a contender, but certainly a playoff team. They'll win slightly under 50 games.
I said the same thing. Kesey. Title contenders?
No.
Playoffs?
Yeah. Title contenders? Nah.
50 wins?
Nah.
50 wins? No 50 wins.
Nah.
Close.
Nah. Don't think so.
Boy, these Laker fans is a trip. And then I also talked about Washington Wizards.
Go ahead. Ask the question.
This is who?
Ask the question.
Why you talking? Why you talking?
I'm just kidding, man.
The Wizards are on top of the East, and they gave up. They didn't give up, but they have most of the core of the old Lakers roster.
Yep,
and they've been balling.
They have.
You ask Montrezl Harrell, hey Montrezl Harrell, why you balling over here in Washington, not over in LA? Because they playing me. I said, why God?
Yep.
He actually got minutes.
Did
He
he?
actually got some good minutes.
Did he?
He
I'll tell you this,
in
though.
the playoffs, I was like, why aren't they playing
let me
Montrezl
tell you
Harrell?
like this.
Go ahead.
It takes a certain caliber of players to play with LeBron
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of scrutinizing that comes behind playing with him.
Sure.
And if you don't have a good game, they on your heels like white on rice.
Like almost to a point of trade, because you know who else is having a good season is
Kuzma.
That slump is over. That slump is non-existent. Okay,
A lot of players cannot play under that much pressure. There's a lot of pressure playing, not just
Kuz is the champion,
not just
too.
coming from the team, but the media throws you under the bus so much when you play with LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Only reason I'm gonna give you that is because I will say that with Kuzma and Montrezl Harrell, they expected more, and when they had an opportunity to deliver, when you had LeBron James out, when you had Anthony Davis out, that was your time to shine.
Exactly.
You did not come up to the plate.
So why do you think that is, though?
I think because I believe it's a lot of pressure to play in LA. I will give you that.
I was gonna say I also think it's a mental thing.
It might be a mental thing
because LeBron is. We haven't seen the behind the scenes tapes or the true talk about LeBron because he's still active. But I've seen LeBron go in on players to make them frustrated. Mario Chalmers, Kyrie Irving, Chris Bosh, Dwight Howard. If you've seen them on the end of the bench, they get really frustrated after LeBron getting in their face. Okay, so let's not act. We all like LeBron, but let's not act like LeBron doesn't have that same Mamba mentality or that Jordan air. He doesn't in terms of clutch, maybe, but I'm talking about in terms of being kind of a bully.
I'm talking about him being a dick.
He's kind of a bully, though, to some of his teammates.
Nah.
You didn't see him in Miami dogging Mario Chalmers and others?
They got into it, though.
You didn't see him dogging Kyrie and others and Tristan Thomas?
I'm not saying
LeBron, I don't think it's a bad thing, Z.
I don't think it's LeBron. Here's the difference. LeBron is not getting on you about something that you can't control.
So
LeBron is saying to you, hey, I know you can play better than this, such and such and such and such, and y'all might have a little argument.
Some players don't like to hear it, though.
Because he was all over Kuz.
And Kuz, let me tell you why. Because
all over Kuzma.
Kuz could have played a lot better than he did. Mm-hmm. Kuz was so caught up in
I would say Kuzma got
dyeing his hair blonde or whatever he did, though.
Because Brian was a big Caruso fan.
That's what I'm saying. He was
Caruso
when
fan.
they traded that young core and they got LeBron. Kuzma was like, "Hey man, I saved you for a reason. Like I kept you around for a reason." But real quick, going back to Chicago,
Washington.
No, going back to Chicago, like Kuzma, not Kuzma. Alex Caruso. He got lowballed by the Lakers.
He did.
2 years, $15 million.
They really didn't have the money.
They didn't.
They didn't have the money.
Because they were bringing in Russie. They were bringing in.
They had too many other things coming in that they couldn't.
So
Caruso would be key right now.
Yeah,
he would.
Yep. To answer your question about the Wizards contender, absolutely not. Playoffs, potentially. Okay. And what's the third part?
50 wins. I say close.
Possibly, because the Eastern Conference, you can have 40 wins and be in sixth place.
That's true.
So
that's very true. That's true. And then just because you mentioned Miami.
Oh yeah.
I don't like Miami. And I'm trying to figure out why I don't like Miami. It's a cocky swag.
You know what it is?
What is it?
It's Jimmy.
It's Jimmy.
It's Jimmy.
If Jimmy was ready to fight the Joker, he would have got destroyed.
But my thing is, everybody mad at the Joker. But Morris put that on himself.
Yes,
he did.
He did not.
He did
not expect.
You know what?
That was a shoot around.
I'm gonna
That was a shoot around.
I'm gonna tell you like this though.
Yeah.
He didn't expect to hurt him like he did. It was more like,
no,
man, don't be doing that to me. He went all up under here
with
his elbow.
With his elbow.
Yeah.
He knew what he was
doing. The only reason
Morris is not a little guy, man.
So the only reason Morris has got hurt or because it looked like that is because he wasn't paying attention. If he was paying attention,
is he hurt? What happened?
He missed the game for whiplash. And the only reason he missed the game with whiplash.
I'm not even saying.
But what I'm saying is, if he had been paying attention, because whiplash occurs when you're not paying attention, mostly, because that's what happened in car accidents. You not paying attention, your neck jerks. Yeah, so he wasn't paying attention. If he had been paying attention, like I don't say face to face, but if he
Well,
had
at least looked over his shoulder and saw him
had been
coming.
expecting some type of retaliation, it'd have been fine.
Well, he shouldn't have did what he did. What RJ say?
You know what?
Did you see what RJ said?
Who?
Richard Jefferson.
Oh yeah.
Richard Jefferson posted a really quick take on it on Instagram. He said, "Listen," he said it showed Joker pushing the twin. He said, "This you don't do." He said, "However, that doesn't happen if you don't do this."
Yeah.
Case closed.
Yeah.
That's pretty much. I mean, and the inside NBA guy said the same thing. Like Shaq said, "Don't you hit me and then turn your back. 'Cause I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you."
Exactly.
I'm gonna hit you.
Because 9 times out of 10, the average person they gonna turn their back if they did what he did.
Exactly.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. He's kind of a dirty player too.
Yeah, he is.
And that's why nobody felt bad for him.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end
But
of
his
the day,
brother.
at the end of the day, I think.
And Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy was ready.
So
Jimmy got fined for escalating it.
Yeah, so Jimmy got fined.
His fine was bigger than
30,000.
Joker's.
He was.
His fine was bigger than Joker's.
And they should have.
Yeah, Jimmy was
Charging them people $20 for a cup of coffee in the bubble. Mother.
So Jimmy
I like
got
you though,
charged
Jimmy, though.
30.
You can ball, but
Jimmy,
you were
Jimmy
wrong,
got charged
brother.
30,000.
Yeah, it was
the
a lot.
twin got charged 50,000. Joker got suspended.
Yep. And the twin got suspended for a game too, I thought.
He
didn't.
He just missed
Okay.
it because of the whiplash.
That's right.
But so I that's why I didn't really put it in the docket, because I just feel like we all could agree that not that he deserved it, but it was uncalled for on both ends, and you can't hit somebody, expect somebody just to take it. And I think that's what he thought was going to happen. He was just going to take it and not do nothing.
Right.
So I'm actually pretty proud of the Joker for like standing up for himself.
But to answer your question, I actually do like Miami as contenders in the East. They'll get destroyed in the finals against any Western team that's at the top because they're too small. And Kyle Lowry doesn't show up. Like, let's just call it what it is. He does not show up.
A lot of the big time players are not showing up like they normally do.
He's not.
I think it opens up the game for the NBA.
It's the young core that's coming in.
I like it.
I think it opens up the game for
I like
the NBA.
It does.
So I like them as contenders in the East. 50 games, easy.
I think 50.
And playoffs, easy. They'll be top 4. Easy.
I'll up the ante for Miami. 60 games.
That's what's up.
No, I'm saying, do you think 60 games?
No. I don't think there will be a team in the Eastern Conference that will win 60 games.
I don't think
Really?
there's a team in the league that'll win 60 games.
Nope. The Golden State will. I think I think the max win. I think the highest in the East is 55, maybe. Because if you look at the records now, once you get in that 10 bracket, it's getting that window for 50 wins is getting real slim.
It is.
It's getting real slim. So I don't have any Eastern Conference team winning 60 games.
55, you said?
That would be the max that an Eastern Conference team will win.
I go 60.
Okay.
I think it's gonna at least be 160 team win out there
in the East.
In the East.
Okay.
And as far as the West goes,
there'll be several.
It would probably be a couple.
There'll be a couple.
I think it'll be a couple. I think Golden State, Phoenix Suns, and Utah Jazz.
Yep.
Yeah,
I would agree.
So this has been another entertaining, to say the least, episode of 94 Feet Podcast.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to thank my brothers.
Do y'all think that was entertaining?
I had a ball.
I didn't. I'm highly disappointed.
Get out.
And you know why?
Why?
Because you ain't put no respect on Scottie's name yet.
Number 33.
Why are you always taking up for the little guy, man?
And because he always bullies him. That's why.
Because we gotta say
I've never been a bully.
Because we say blue and yellow. Because we say blue and yellow, and he say purple and gold.
Kesey, the sky is blue.
And it just don't make no sense.
Kesey, the sky is blue.
No, it's green. It's been another good one, y'all. I appreciate my brothers.
It's been a good one, man. I enjoy these moments with my brothers and on the podcast because you get to see both sides of us. Listen to us on
Spreaker,
Apple Podcasts,
Spotify, iHeartMusic,
Amazon Podcasts.
Oh, everywhere you can pretty much stream anything.
Yes, follow us on social media at
94 Feet.
That's on Twitter and
Instagram
and on Facebook Nation, y'all. Let's do it big. Follow, like, subscribe.
And also check out your boy on what's hot on these streets. Peace.
Wait. You always says that. There it is.